The highly anticipated A24 film Opus hit theaters this past weekend, and honestly, I needed some time to gather my thoughts about this one. I was really excited about the movie. An incredible cast and the culty themes had me hype for this. But then I came out feeling kind of lukewarm about everything, so let's talk about it. As it's been like about a week now since the movie came out, I'm gonna go ahead and let this be a spoilery review, so if you haven't seen Opus yet, come back after you've seen it. Unless you don't care about the spoilers, in which case, stick around. The featured directorial debut of Mark Anthony Green follows Ariel, a young journalist who gets invited to the remote compound of legendary pop star Moretti, who had disappeared from the public eye 30 years prior. Once at the compound, Ariel starts noticing something is off about Moretti and his followers. I was kind of surprised to see reviews for this skew low, like a lot lower than I thought it was gonna be. Most of the ones I read kind of expressed that the movie fails to really say anything new that other horror movies haven't said previously. And I'm gonna go ahead and make a few reaches based on my interpretation of the themes of the movie, so strap in. I know I like never do a reach. Who is she? I don't. While I do agree I didn't find anything like particularly groundbreaking in this movie, I think it almost might have been the point that it was so conventional because of this whole idea that everything's kind of been fabricated to further this plan of Moretti's that we find out at the end. So maybe that's why this feels very by the book to other horror movies that we've seen, where a group go to a remote location under one pretense and realize that they're there for an entirely different and frequently horrifying reason. To explain myself, let's go over the role that each important character plays in this movie. Ariel's character is set up with this premise that her opinions on things are not valued because she is like middle of the road. Not extremely poor, not extremely wealthy, didn't have anything traumatic happen to her, which sets up nicely what's about to happen to her before she goes to Moretti's compound. Moretti sets Ariel up to go through this traumatic experience at the hands of his mysterious and isolated community, and suddenly everyone is interested in what Ariel has to say. But her arc makes sense though, because as I know this community is aware, people can get fanatical over true crime stories. It was a sickeningly familiar moment when she has the rug pulled out from under her character at the end of the movie. Like, she finally gets what she wants, but it's because of a plan made by a rich white man, which isn't that the way. And then we have the levelists, just collectively make up a really important character in this movie. They're the group that Moretti claims he's not a leader of, but it's pretty clear he's the leader. They also, of course, represent like the religion that they kind of operate under. The levelist hold up creativity above all else. They consider it divine. And it's kind of a weird concept to ultimately find creepy, because when you hear that, like, they worship creativity, doesn't really sound that bad. Like, there are some things that the cult does that is truly freaky, but just like as a concept, it doesn't sound super scary. And I think the purpose of the cult was less to freak out and more to make a commentary on this idea of the cult of celebrity, right? Which is like the tagline of the movie. The levelists are fans. They worship the creative output of their favorite artist, in this case Moretti, which we can all agree is harmless, usually, until it's not. And it's actually kind of hilarious at the end of the movie when Moretti reveals that the levelist members didn't die when Ariel thought that they did. They kind of intercut a bunch of shots of these different levelists that we saw throughout the movie out and about in different parts of the world. And it's supposed to be this sinister thing, but it's just a bunch of people who really love creativity. I just found that really funny and wanted to mention. But then of course we have Moretti himself, who at the end of the movie claims to have set up this entire thing to become infamous. He does confirm what Ariel believed, that he invited the other journalists there because of his personal past with them, and Ariel was meant to be a kind of like neutral, unrelated voice to tell the story in the end. which she does with her book. With the whole idea being that this celebrity did this thing to secure his legacy. Like, not only was he an incredibly successful artist, but now he is infamously attached to this horrific and creepy thing. Like, people will continue to listen to his music forever now. And with that, there's concepts of greed when it comes to being famous. That's a certain kind of power that can be addictive. We kind of see that with the story Moretti tells the group kind of towards the end of the movie about Julius Caesar, which is who he names his new album for. I think the problem I ultimately had with everything though is that I just didn't find the story super compelling. It was like, yeah, celebrities' hubris will always lead to bad things in the end. Like, that makes sense to me. I get it. Did I think Io Debris was perfect for this role? Yeah. Did I also think John Malkovich was perfect for his role? Yeah. And that's kind of where the lukewarm feeling came in. Like I was there, like I was interested to find out what was going on in the story, and then when it was all said and done, I was kind of just like, oh, yeah. So yeah, all of that to say, I guess I didn't find myself quite as disappointed as a lot of users on Letterboxd. At least it's kind of like my main source of seeing how the people feel about a movie. It just felt like it just was. It feels like a movie we're all gonna forget about by the end of the year. And I know that sounds really mean to say, but it just gives me that vibe, you know? But I'm most excited to hear what you guys personally thought of Opus. So if you saw it, please let me know in the comments what you thought about it. One thing I do know for sure, Io Debris in more horror movies, please. And thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then thank you. I don't know. Thumbs it up, is that still a thing? Subscribe if you aren't already. I don't know, do what you want. I'll see you later this week with a new video. Until then, stay strange. Bye.